Hello and welcome back to Suspended Animation in my echoey chamber that I got going on here. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Expanse Season 5, Episode 7, Oyedeng. All right, or Oyedeng. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but you know what? I'll hear about it in the comments. Whatever at this point. Welcome, everybody. Before I get started, let me take care of some business, then we'll get down to everything that just happened there. Like, share, and subscribe if you like what you're seeing here. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does, takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and matches it up there just for you. Also, if you want to know when to be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there, which I haven't changed out this week, by the way, because I've been moving, as you can tell by the lack of shit in my place here, which also goes for the echo as well. But there will be something up there. I will be doing WandaVision on Friday. Even if the movers haven't brought my stuff, which they were supposed to bring it today, and they didn't. Long story. But and also up there are the links to all my YouTube, or excuse me, all my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. I'm basically on my Patreon. I'm not taking any money until I get 1,000 subscribers. That way, when you guys give me money, I give you something in return. So. All right, let's get down to it, shall we? No green screen. It's just white, Philip. So you're lucky you got this. This is what I had in my car. So, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not watched the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. All right. And yes, I am really fucking tired too, by the way. So, it was an ordeal, which I'll get to. I'll talk about a little bit at the end there. So Oyedeng, and again, like I said, I'm probably mispronouncing it, is of course Belter for goodbye or farewell. And this, of course, is the episode where Naomi spaces herself. I'm just going to cut straight to the chase there. Yeah, so Marco has been playing this little game with Holden where he's been trying to kill Holden and not succeeding at it because people always seem to thwart him at every turn. So now he's taking to baiting Holden with ships on remote control and then blowing them up when the Rossi gets near him. And I don't know if the protomolecule was aboard that ship that exploded that Holden was going after, but from what it sounds like it was, but I'm not too sure. That was kind of glossed over a little bit in this episode too, was, because again, Holden was chasing after the ship that supposedly had the protomolecule on it. And also he was going to try and find out where the hell Naomi was being held at by disabling the ship. And then the ship's reactor, of course, went because they exploded it in trying to take out the Rossi, but didn't work. But was the protomolecule on board the ship? We don't know. That wasn't really answered. But then again, it kind of was in a roundabout way by Marco when he was berating Philippe and telling him that, all his failures, and one of them being that they didn't have the protomolecule anymore. So I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah. I agree with you, Penn. I can't believe they destroyed what was left of the protomolecule either. So I don't know exactly if that's true or not. We'll find out. But of course, this whole episode was Naomi's episode. Her trying to justify to Philippe, or not justify, just basically tell him her side of the story of what happened and how that he was hidden from her, even though she was looking for him all this time. And then at some point she just kind of had to divorce herself from the notion that she was ever going to see him again. And so much so that she walked into an airlock and was going to space herself and then realized that's not going to help him either, because either way, he's not going to have a mom. And I thought that was actually kind of a powerful scene right there. And, I thought she kind of got through to Philip, but obviously she didn't, because he's the one that is basically going to send her out on the float, is what they said. So what they've done is they've rigged up the her ship that she gave to Philippe, the Chetzamutka, and they were going to use it as bait for Holden to come, and then they were going to blow it up, of course, or ambush him, or both. That was, again, kind of spotty. I don't know. I know they said that they had 2 other ships that were waiting, but I thought they had that also with the ship that had the protomolecule on it. Again, it was kind of spotty. I don't know, but then it could have just been me as well. Mark says Monica kind of hinted as to why the protomolecule wouldn't be on the ship. Yeah, exactly. That's why it was kind of confusing. The writers on this episode, it kind of confounded me a little bit. And I want to be honest with you. This episode was feeling like a Lisa Simpson episode for me with Naomi. And those of you who are fans of The Simpsons know that a Lisa Simpson episode, you're like, it's The Simpsons. Oh, it's a Lisa episode. That's what it was feeling like to me to begin with. And then we got that ending, of course, and it changed it around for me. And then, of course, Sin talking about that he witnessed Naomi going into the airlock and almost spacing herself when she lost Philippe. And then admitting that he was the one that helped hide Philippe all this time, and that he's really sorry about it. And and then he fucking betrays her again and doesn't stand up for her when Marco basically says, yeah, we're going to use the Chetzamutka to blow up the Rossi. And then once we do that, we're just going to send you out into space, in a spacesuit, in the float. And that's it. And that's going to be done with you. That's how we're going to deal with you. And everyone kind of just turns her back on her. And I'm just like, that's fucking cold. So at the end there, when she makes the decision to actually jump out the airlock towards her ship that's being remote controlled and injecting herself with whatever it was that she injected herself so she could survive the vacuum of space to get to the airlock. And hopefully she was able to reactivate the airlock on the other side. Hopefully, because her eyes started to bleed too. So, which you would also think her eyes would freeze over at that point, because it is close to absolute zero. So you're supposed to, from what I understand, shut your eyes really tight. So the whole breathing out thing is correct. And again, I know James S.A. Corey gets shit on about this on Twitter all the time about the science portion of it. But you are supposed to, from what I understand, expel as much air out as possible out of your lungs so they don't explode when the oxygen expands there. Because your oxygen is going from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration, and expands rapidly. So you breathe out as much as possible before you go out into the vacuum of space. There's your science tip for the hey, Belinda. Mork says, best way to describe it, aside from the space battle visuals, this episode didn't do it for me. I agree with you, Marks. I could see how that goes. This was a lot of the exposition, I guess you could say, of what's going on. And there was a lot more telling than showing in this episode, which was fine. They needed something like this in order to kind of guide us for the next couple of episodes. We've got Holden going out, looking for the protomolecule, but also holding out hope that he can get Naomi. But now he's also got Alex and Bobby, who are a lot closer than he thought they were, looking for Naomi as well. And Alex and Bobby, of course, have given Avasarla all the information on the Free Navy and the Mars frigates, or the Mars destroyers, warships, all that stuff that Marcos now has control of, and how there might be something bigger going on with the Mars thing. And Marcos may find himself asked out at some point because he might have overextended himself and doesn't really realize that. And then also Marcos playing Philippe as well, and telling him, that's not, that's my name they're chanting, not yours. And he goes, but someday your name will be chanted, but after I'm gone, kind of thing. which was everything that Naomi told him he was going to do. And yeah, I don't understand this. There's some stuff. Like I said, the writing in this episode was just kind of weird, and maybe with some of the direction too. I'm not sure. Philip Ademic says, with Sin gone, there's no one left to give Marco. Yeah, so that's the other thing too. Is Sin was in the airlock when Naomi pushed herself towards the Chetzamoika, and yeah, with him gone and no father figure for Philippe, and Marco basically being unchecked, he's just going to be this rabid animal now at this point, doing whatever the fuck he wants. Well, he was already doing that anyway, and Sin was kind of just going along with it. So Sin's usefulness had come to an end. And you may even argue that it came to an end earlier, years earlier. Yeah, I can't wait for next week either. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see what happens in all of this. But a good episode, not great episode, but a good episode all the way around. I wish I could have watched it on a big screen TV, but that's someplace in a truck driven by a driver with no number, supposedly, at this point. Yeah. So if you see a Beacons truck out there that's got my furniture on there, give Beacons of El Cajon a call and let them know where the fuck it is, because they don't know where it's at either. Yeah. Mark says, after realizing how he failed, I agree, Mark's with Sin. Sin had failed all the way around, really, is what he did. So, yeah. I don't think he died on purpose. I think he thought he was going to save Naomi again and put up for more abuse. And yeah, she was like, nope, fuck you, out, you know. Quite literally out is what she did. Yeah. So, yeah, I want to see how Drummer's going to come into all of this. If Drummer's going to, she's got to join up with the rest of the crew here, Avasarla. And what the fuck is going on with Amos and Peaches there, Clarissa? Are we going to actually have them join up with this group as well? Are they going to go all the way to Baltimore in order to get a transport off planet to Luna in order to join with Avasarla? And then, of course, Bobby and, this is the... I don't know how this is all going to tie together. Yeah. I agree with you, Marks. I like Drummer as well. Yeah. I want some more of what's going on. And the Poly fam that's going on as well. Yeah, that just the introduction of the Poly fam is just like, what? Okay. Yeah. Mark says he could have closed the door. Seemed he had plenty of time. I don't know about that, Marks. He was on the other side of the bay, and I don't think he really thought she was going to do it until she's like, "Yep, see what I got here? The syringe in my hand," and she put it down to her side and went pop and hit the door. And the look on his face was like, "She just not fucking do that. She did not just fucking do that." And he didn't have any time to exhale like she did. So he was pretty much a dead man at that point. I'm pretty sure his lungs might have popped at that point. So he wasn't going to survive either way. They made it, that was the one thing I have to commend them for in this episode, is they made it very explicit that she exhaled air out of her lungs. You see it. It's floating in front of her face as she's going out as well, because it's frozen there. And he did not. And yeah, that's it. It freezes and expands in your lungs and explodes your lungs. Basically, all the alveoli in your lungs, and you're dead. So even if he was able to somehow hit that airlock button and close it back in, he was a dead man. Yeah. And then Marco was just a absolute shit as usual. So that's kind of, he did a great job. And I'm wondering if Philippe is playing him now. I don't know. I don't know what his whole thing is, if he's actually doing that or not. But yeah. Mark says, I'll look at it again. You point out something I may have overlooked, and they did emphasize her expelling air. Yeah. That was one thing I got. Yeah. Do you think Philippe will turn? I'm pretty sure he will too at some point, but I don't know if he already has. That's the whole thing, and he's just playing along with this, and he's doing an end, a long run for an end game here, which could be interesting. So, what else do I have going on this week? Well, depending on when the fuck my furniture arrives, they have until Friday, by the way. So, um, here's what's going on. I expected my furniture to be here today, but because it's an interstate move, they basically have 3 days to get it here. So Wednesday to Friday is when they have as a window to get my stuff here. Nothing happened today. I called up and they're like, well, we're going to give the driver a call. Well, we don't have the driver's phone number. We're going to see if we can find out who the driver is and find his phone number. Still nothing going on. So, yeah, so that's going to be a tomorrow thing as well to find out what's happening, because that's always going to be fun. And, otherwise they're just going to be paying me to buy a lot of new shit all over again. That's all it is. Although the collectibles are going to be kind of a bear to, yeah. Anyway, that's the long and short of it. Also, how's the internet connection looking, by the way? So this is a brand new internet connection that I've got going on. And of course, they downgraded me on the package. So that's the other thing I've got to fix tomorrow as well, is going up to my gigabit per second speed instead of the 100 megabits per second that I've got going on. Yeah. Am I sleeping on the floor? Almost, Cheryl. I've got a inflatable mattress that I brought with me. I was no dummy on that one. My back does not do well on floors. So, although Pepper keeps trying to push me off that mattress onto the floor, even though it's a big enough, bed, and she's a small dog, she keeps pushing me towards the edge of the mattress, slowly but surely. So, yeah, it seems like a stable connection. I mean, it's a 1-year-old building. I've got a LAN jack behind me in the wall. So, I mean, come on. I mean, an Ethernet, connection there. So, yeah, I just need to bump up my speed to the speed that I want. That's all. So I can really burn through as much porn as possible. I mean, as much video games as possible. Mm-hmm. So what else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow I'm going to be off, of course. And Friday is going to be a WandaVision. That's right. I'm probably going to do an early one for WandaVision. I'll probably do it in the morning, and depending on if my stuff is here or not. And Saturday, hopefully I'll be able to do Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week and genre stuff you guys want to talk about when we talk about it. Sunday I'll be off at the moment, and then we'll play it by ear for next week. I don't know what's going on yet. How was Pepper on the drive? She was actually good. Her little bed that she has, I put her up really high. It was kind of funny. I piled a whole bunch of shit so I packed that car as tightly as possible. I even threw out some stuff because I was just like, it's not going to fit, and I haven't touched this in years. So into the garbage it went. And so I piled up as much stuff as possible on the passenger seat, stuffed her bed in there, and I put her on there. So all she had to do was lay there, and she could look out the window, both the front and the side. And she was fine. She actually just slept most of the time or just stared out the window. How many more episodes do they have to wrap up here for The Expanse? That's a good question. Let's see. We're on episode 7 here, right? And we've got 8, 9, and 10. So we've got 3 more episodes. Hard Vacuum is next week. Winnipesaukee, which I believe is going to be the wrap up of Amos and Peach's road trip that we've got going on. And Nemesis Games is the last one. Yeah. Yep, 3 more marks. That's right. 3 more. Yeah, the road trip was fine. I mean, I had to pull over at one point and actually take a nap just before the grapevine because I was just like, yeah. But and I even got here a little early, even with that nap. I was planning on a 12 noon arrival, and I got here at just before 11. But that's what happens when you have a lead foot. But like I said, the car was just packed tight, full of shit. Obviously, I brought the whole podcast assembly with me. There was no way I was shipping that and not having it. So that's why I actually have all the stuff. Hey, and you get to hear all the lovely new sounds too that I have with a new apartment, which is interesting. Besides the echo that goes on. Echo, echo, echo. Now batting 5th in the lineup. No demon spawn here, Marks. No demon spawn. This is a this is a, how should I say it? The company that I work for or the entity that I work for owns this building, and you have to be an employee in order to live here. And usually it's mostly professionals and stuff like that. So yeah. There are some children, but they have 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom units. But mostly they because they also rent out houses and stuff like that too. So they usually take the houses. That's what they do for the rentals, and they leave the apartments to us peons. Yeah. Philip Ademic says, so you didn't have any Mad Max Road Warrior moments on your trip? No, because I left at 1 a.m., Philip. So here's what happened. Basically, I loaded up as much as possible into the car. I was planning on a 2 a.m. Departure time from Southern California and figured, you know what, I'll just pop up my contact lenses at 8, sleep, and then, go at 2. Popped out the contact lenses, slept for maybe an hour and a half, if that, and I was tossing and turning. Woke up or basically got up at 11. I'm like, fuck this. Finished, some little stuff here, packing and cleaning and whatnot. And then I was like, that's as best as I'm going to do. And by then it was 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, all right, I'm taking off. So packed the dog in the car and went like that to Southern California and took off. And by about, I think it was like 4 a.m., somewhere around there. It was 4:30 in the morning. That's right. I remember because I was driving by a Starbucks and I'm like, are they open? Fuck, they're not open. And so I pulled into a business park that was completely dark and passed out for like an hour. Pepper didn't even move. Actually, I took her out first, let her pee and whatnot. And then, yes, there. No, I got it more because I told you I got it. I got it before I left. Yes, thank you. It's like I said, I don't know exactly where I packed it. That was the whole thing before I left. I opened it up. I saw what it was. I don't remember where I packed it, if I packed it with me or if I packed it. I'm trying to remember now where I packed it. I think I might have packed it in one of the other boxes. But yes, thank you. I don't remember half the things I was doing at that point in time. Or maybe even 3/4. Yeah. But yeah, if I showed you the other half of the room right now, it's kind of disaster area-ish, even though there's not that much stuff. There's Pepper's toys all over the place, though. And she's laying in her bed and hiding her face down below. I don't know why, but she's kind of exhausted. That's all. I know the trip took a lot out of her. And now she's exploring the new place. It's more urban for her than where we were before. Before there was a lot more grassy areas and stuff like that for her to go to, and not so much so here. Yeah. I take that back. We actually went to one of the grassy areas, and it was very populated by, let's just say, outdoor campers. Yeah. And we're like, yeah, not going to be doing this. So, yeah. All righty. Well, that's pretty much all I got for you guys tonight. I'm going to let you guys go. Philip Ademic says, anyone know if The Expanse is getting enough ratings to warrant a 7th season? I don't know. I know James A. Corey's been talking about it, on his Twitter. So he's been trying to pump that as well. But he always uses The Boys as an example, and how The Boys is also review bombed like they were, and yet they are the highest. They are the best rated thing that Amazon has produced. The Boys is what he was telling. He just tweeted that out, I think, last night, somewhere around there. So anyone's guess is as good as yours at this point. All right. I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody who joined me tonight in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. I swear I'm actually a lot better than this. It's just moving and no stuff and bare bones. I actually had to go to Target and buy myself a patio table that this is on, and a patio chair, so I can actually sit down and have something to work with and work off of. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Again, I will see you on Friday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may have a moving van that has a driver without a cell phone that no one knows where the hell they are, and they have all your stuff aboard. And good luck getting that whenever that's going to happen. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again Friday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, and remember, wear those masks. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.